evades him. John's ghosts confront him head-on.
I'm born and raised in Kingston. I lived here all my life. I've traveled quite a bit all over the United States and all over Canada. I like other places and that, and I like to visit other places, but Kingston's basically my hometown. Maybe because not only did I grow up here, but I also have a lot of knowledge of the history of the city of Kingston. Well, I've always been interested in history, whether it's the American Civil War or Kingston history, and Kingston has a lot of history. The very early 1800s, when we had so many Irish ships coming over and Scottish and so on, people were coming over there to build the Rideau Canal, but they were coming over, they were dying of typhoid and malaria and all kinds of diseases like that. And Kingston didn't have a cemetery, except for where this Skelton Park was. So they used that as a cemetery, and they used it right up until about 1893. And in 1893, they decided to move that cemetery, and they were exhuming the graves, and the people in the neighborhood were complaining because of the stench, and money was short. So they just bulldozed down all the tombstones. It was not an easy task, and at one point was finally given up. And so they just covered it over with grass and sod or earth or whatever, and it became a park. So they just left them. They don't know where they are. They estimate today there's somewhere around 1,400, at least that many, or if not more, graves. Unless you study the history of Kingston, you would never know that that was Kingston's very first cemetery. Skelton Park isn't a place that I would go to in particular, but a friend of mine was visiting from out of town named Margaret, who was into sending people into the light. But one of the things that they do is visit graveyards and walk into the graveyards, and if there's any spirits there that have not yet moved on into the light, they send them to the light. And whether I believe it or I don't believe it, I guess I certainly believe it now, because that particular night, it involved me. Skelton Park isn't a place that I would go to in particular, but a friend of mine was visiting from out of town named Margaret, who was into sending people into the light. But one of the things that they do is visit graveyards and walk into the graveyards, and if there's any spirits there that have not yet moved on into the light, they send them to the light. This one particular night when Margaret was in town, she said, "Do you have any more haunted places you can take me to?" Because I had did this sort of thing before. In the daytime, I had stopped at certain little cemeteries and let Margaret walk through the cemetery, and then she'd come back and get in the car, and away we'd go. I had no experiences or feelings about it one way or the other. There is a place, I said, that not too many people know about. It's called Skelton Park. It was nicknamed Skelton Park because it used to be a graveyard. And I said, there are a lot of people still buried there. Well, can we go there? So here I was, 10 o'clock at night, drizzly, rainy, foggy, pulled up to the park. And I said, this is it. And I said, how long are you going to be? She said, oh, I don't know, whatever it takes. I said, okay, I'll be waiting. So out she got. I saw her going, and then all of a sudden she just disappeared. It's hard to keep track of time when these things happen. I want to say 5 minutes, but maybe it was 10 minutes. And all of a sudden, the wind started blowing, the car started shaking a little bit, And then, sometimes when you recall things, it's difficult. Then all of a sudden I seen these men, women, children reaching out, and I'm looking at them through the windshield. They're reaching, and I'm not scared of them because I don't feel evil from them. And they were in, like, not clothes that we would wear today. The clothes were tattered or ripped, or maybe they were very poor people. Remember, they come over on these immigrant ships. They might have had just the clothes they had on their back. And when they died, that's the clothes they were buried in. And they were worn and they were tattered, and that's probably why I was seeing that. Then, of course, I started hearing I call it wailing. You know, help us, help us. It was kind of an eerie sensation to be looking at these people, reaching out for you. It's like, please help me. I think that's sort of the communication I got from these people, is that they were trying to say, we're here, we're here, we're here. Can you hear us? And that's the part, I think, that bothered me, because there was young children. I didn't believe for a minute that my life was in danger. I just looked at them and wished that there was some way I could help them. I just knew that Margaret had something to do with this. And I thought, gee, I wish you'd hurry up and come back here. They were spiritual bodies in need of help. I just knew that Margaret had something to do with this. And I thought, gee, I wish you'd hurry up and come back here. They sort of started fading. And bang, they were all gone. The car door opened up and Margaret got in. I was crying. And Margaret says, what's wrong? I said, don't you ever bring me here again. Never. I said, I don't want any part of this. She said, what happened? I stepped on the accelerator and started getting away from the park as quick as possible. And I proceeded to tell her the story. And I said, did you master what you come to do? Oh, yes, she said, there were a lot of spirits there. She said, I sent a lot of them into the light. But she said, there's still a lot of them there that I need to come back. I said, not with me, you know. I think to myself, do people get stuck in between, here and there? And if so, are that many people buried in Skelton Park? Are they still waiting to go into the light? I've never been back to Skelton Park since. I can go back in the daytime, but I don't think I'd ever go back on a dark, rainy night again, or any time at night for that matter.
John wonders if spirits can be stuck between this world and the next. Our expert says the attachment to this world may be to the dead person's physical remains. And this might be more intense if something violent or particularly tragic was connected with their death. John and Chuck were aware of the history surrounding their ghostly encounters. But for both of them, the ghost's appearance radically changed their connection to the past, a past that will live on through them.
Today, it would be a much different story. Today, when human remains are found, whether it's in a wall from a building they're tearing down or whatever it is, today, it means something. These were human beings at one time. These people have a right for us to know when they find these bodies in the woods. Who was this person? What happened to them? I realized, gee, there is another world out there. There are people that have not yet went into that light.
Something supernatural has happened. Something's happened to me. But why? Why me? I didn't ask for it. Maybe he wants me here talking about him. Maybe he wants me here to explain things for him.
For more ghostly encounters, go to myviva.ca/ghostly encounters.